This video is sponsored by me. Gang, I've put in my time. I've owned the original Xbox, the Xbox 360, and now the Xbox Series X, but something feels off. I have several games that I played growing up that are backwards compatible, so I've been downloading the updates and playing them. And although the Xbox Series X is an amazing console, something I recently said to myself is, on second thought, is the Xbox Series X worth it? For reference, I've never owned a PlayStation console, and since 2017, I've been a PC gamer where I've played games like Fortnite and a little COD. By the way, don't let anybody ever tell you I don't hit those. The backwards compatibility on the Xbox Series X is nothing short of amazing. I loved playing Midnight Club Los Angeles when it came out in 2008, so to play it again in 2022 blows my mind. Other Xbox 360 games I have include Mortal Kombat, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, NBA 2K14, and NCAA Basketball 10. While reading about backwards compatibility, I saw that Microsoft put more than 500,000 man-hours into validating games, so if no one else said it, thank you Microsoft. I gotta admit, the design of the Xbox Series X is pretty good. Yes, big, black, and thick. That ain't the only thing on the screen that fits that description. I appreciate that it's not an eyesore and looks good if you sit it on top of your setup or in a shelf below. On the back of the system, you will find two USB 3.1 ports, one Ethernet port, one storage expansion slot, an HDMI 2.1 port, and a figure 8 power cable. On the front, you will find a 4K Ultra Blu-ray disc drive slot, an eject button, and one USB 3.1 port. When it comes to the controller, I have a black one and a white one, but I haven't opened the white one yet. I appreciate the tactile dots on the grip and the USB-C port that lets me charge the controller. The fact that the controller came with two AA batteries instead of a rechargeable one blows my mind. I did a search and it looks like there's a $25 rechargeable battery, but that's just more money. To give Microsoft some credit, one very impressive thing is the share button that allows us to take screenshots to share with people. That's dope. In terms of hardware, I'm a believer in future-proofing yourself, especially when it comes to a console. The main piece of hardware that is going to limit Xbox Series S users is the storage space. The Xbox Series S has 512 gigabytes of space, while the Xbox Series X has 1 terabyte of space. As we all know, we need the most space possible since games are extremely huge these days. And yes, you can buy the Seagate storage expansion card, but when you look at the prices, they are $130 for 512 gigabytes and over $200 for 1 terabyte. So at the end of the day, you might as well fork up the extra money for an Xbox Series X when it's in stock. Side note, I'm only using the Seagate storage expansion card as an example since I read it's the only seamless option available out there. Cheaper options do exist. I know you're probably like, it's not easy to buy an Xbox Series X console by itself. I admit, I had to buy mine with the extra BS that GameStop added on so that they can make their own merchandise sale. It's also worth mentioning that the 16 gigabytes of memory and the 4K resolution at 60 frames per second up to 120 frames per second was enough to make me choose the Xbox Series X over the S. Simply because, even though I've done a lot of gaming at 1080p, I am interested in checking out the 4K capabilities and want to be prepared for what's to come in the gaming world. When it comes to performance, I was aware that Microsoft wanted to make speed improvements when switching between games and navigating in the home menu. So, I've got to say, bravo. I'm getting what I paid for in terms of speed, and the text on screen is very readable. The home screen has a pretty good design interface, however, I wish there was a little more thought put into the design of the menu because I feel like some squares are all over the place in terms of placement and organization. One of the main things I enjoy is quick resume because being able to jump exactly right where I left off in a game without a long loading screen is huge. That's something I can't do on a PC, and because I'm just getting started playing games on the console, I haven't been able to push the graphics and the processor to the limit. That will come later in a follow-up video. Even though the Xbox Game Pass isn't unique to this version of the Xbox, to get a comprehensive understanding of the Xbox world, let's talk about it, especially since we gotta keep storage space in mind. Because I've been stuck in the PC gaming world, I didn't know Xbox Game Pass existed, and at the time of writing this video, I discovered Game Pass was created the year I switched over to PC gaming, 2017. What's dope about the Xbox Game Pass is we have access to over 100 games, but of course, we have to pay a monthly subscription fee of $10 for console or PC, and if we want a pass for both, that's $14 a month. Back in my day, I bought a single game I was interested in playing or watched streamers play a game I'm interested in before buying it.
Don't take none of that new on the street. That will f you up. They got the fentanyl. Now they got fentanyl on the street now. Yeah. Fentanyl this in your mouth.
Yeah, tell him I said, what a dumb.
So while there is convenience with Game Pass, from a corporate perspective, this was a great way to continuously take money out of people's pockets who are always unsure what games they might be interested in. When looking through the list of available games in the Xbox Game Pass, there were only a few games I was 100% interested in, which include Dragon Ball FighterZ, multiple Need for Speed games, and Marvel's Avengers. But there are a lot of popular games that are available that everyone loves, including Among Us, multiple Battlefields, Final Fantasies, Gears of War, and Halo. I can appreciate Microsoft continuously adding games to Game Pass, but respectfully, I gotta be extremely bored to play a game like Lawn Mowing Simulator. No disrespect. As a counterpoint to the Xbox Game Pass, Fortnite's otherworldly popularity caused a lot of shooters to change their games to the freemium model. I should mention that Fortnite saw what PUBG was doing and said,
Jesus, I've seen what you've done for other people and I want that for me.
So these days, games like Fortnite, Call of Duty Warzone, and Apex Legends are free to play. So depending on what you play, I think you really have to ask yourself, is the Xbox Game Pass worth it these days? In the long run, do I think the Game Pass is worth it for me? No. To get the best value, take advantage of the special Game Pass pricing. Then, to determine if Game Pass is worth it for you, see how many games you're interested in. If it's 2 or 3, just buy those games and avoid bleeding money every month. No matter which Xbox you have, one of the things that isn't worth it is paying for Xbox Live. It irritated me when I was a kid, and it still irritates me as an adult. It's great that free-to-play games like Fortnite, Warzone, and Apex Legends don't require Xbox Live, but I want to start playing GTA Online via console instead of on PC, and I'm just now realizing I will have to pay for Xbox Live to do so. That's something I should have considered before buying the Xbox. It was foolish of me to think that after all these years, Xbox would drop the live model and let everyone play games for free. Silly me, I guess, but Microsoft, please stop with the cash grab. I usually keep my head down and mind my own business, but I personally want creators with a large audience to be more critical about the Xbox Live program. Microsoft already received pushback for their plans to increase the monthly cost of Xbox Live, and they canceled that price increase because of the public outcry. In my opinion, it shouldn't exist at all, so I'm not going to kiss butt. I don't like Xbox Live, and I realize it's pretty pointless of me to play the DBZ fighter game since I'm not going to buy Xbox Live to play it online. I guess I might as well install it. So, where do I go from here? I wanted to share my initial thoughts since buying the Xbox Series X, since I did have second thoughts about my purchase. Do I think the Xbox Series X is worth it? Yes and no. There's a lot to consider, and I don't think it's a clear yes or no answer because it depends on the circumstance. If you don't have a PC or console and you are eager to play games, in this GPU shortage climate, it's cheaper to buy an Xbox, and because games like COD take up 90 gigabytes of space, not including the updates, you might as well go with the Series X for the extra storage space and the graphic and memory bump. But if you have a gaming PC like myself, then I would say skip out on the Xbox Series X unless you have the money to blow. My purchase was purely on impulse because I had a notification link that it came back in stock. I was perfectly fine gaming on my PC, but if I ever traveled and wanted to play, that's where the Xbox Series X comes into the picture. Something I didn't give justice to in this video was cloud gaming in its beta stage. Be sure to check out a future video where I dive into cloud gaming on my iPhone, iPad, and Windows desktop. And if you ever need a wallpaper for your desktop, be sure to check out the free ones I made at www.visionarywatch.com.